Europe is beautiful, it is rich, and it is attractive. There is so much here that one could spend an eternity exploring its offerings and still not be done. However, the mechanics of one's life does not allow for that, and often we find ourselves in a situation where we only have a week to explore. But that does not mean that all hope is lost. Welcome to MultiCityTrips, the multi-destination travel expert for personalized multi-city trips to Europe. And in today's video, we give you our top 5 of the best multi-city itineraries perfect for a one-week trip to Europe. In addition to 5 excellent multi-city itinerary ideas, we've added helpful tips throughout the video. These are things such as how to get there, the best transportation method to get to each destination, and things you can do while you are there that will help maximize your time and sense of fulfillment during your trip. So make sure to stick around and watch until the end of the video. New to our travel channel? We post new videos every Monday and Thursday, so subscribe today and ring the bell so you don't miss out on our latest travel guide, inspiration, tips, and amazing travel itineraries available to your favorite destinations in Europe. To make the most of this travel guide, check out our recommended hotels to stay in and more things you can do in each destination in the video description below. For a full list of recommendations, click on the link provided in the description to access the blog post version of this guide on our website. Let's dive in. Number 1. London to Brussels to Paris. Although 7 days in Europe are not enough to fully explore its offerings, London, Brussels, Paris is a one-week Europe itinerary that lets you get a big picture of the European experience. Begin your one-week in Europe itinerary in London, the city of some of the most iconic landmarks and monuments in Europe. Therefore, plan to spend at least 2 days in the city, exploring its several attractions. Since the city is home to over 100 museums, the sheer number representing how excellently London can help you get an insight into the British and foreign histories and cultures, it makes sense to dedicate a day to museums and art galleries. Make sure you visit the British Museum, the National Gallery, and the Victoria and Albert Museum to witness the range London museums possess. On the next day, you can visit other popular sites like Buckingham Palace and Westminster Abbey. 2 days in London and then you are off to Brussels by air, which would take you only an hour and a half. Although Brussels seems too modern and corporate to be attractive to visitors, it possesses elements that people gravitate towards. From historical, archaeological sites like Coudenberg Palace to imposing architectural wonders like Notre-Dame du Sablon and Basilique Nationale du Sacré-Cœur, the city has plenty to enchant you. Plan to spend 2 more days here so that you can explore the city properly. The last step in your itinerary is the classic French city, Paris. One needs months to experience this city alone. Such are its attributes. However, if you plan carefully, you can make the last 3 days of your trip here very fulfilling. The answer to how to spend 1 week in Europe applies to Paris very well. Decide what in Paris matters to you the most. If you are here for art, prioritize art galleries like the Louvre more. If it's architecture, then it is landmarks such as the Notre Dame Cathedral and the Eiffel Tower that should be under your focus. Number 2. Amsterdam to Bruges to Ipra. Suppose you are looking to spend your time in Europe surrounded by super friendly people and a gorgeous, bike-friendly neighborhood. In that case, the Amsterdam-Bruges-Ipra 1 week in Europe itinerary is the best for you. you should begin your trip from Amsterdam, the picturesque city of canals. The city has a unique cultural beat and offers some of the most rewarding experiences to its visitors. Plus, the town's artistic and architectural scene is remarkably strong, with most attractions comfortably reached via bikes. Therefore, rent a bike for your stay here and cycle to the hidden gems. Visit the historic brewery and the museums, like Rijksmuseum and the Van Gogh Museum. You can also cruise in the canal, which is another fun experience. The next stop in your itinerary is Bruges, which is easily accessible via rail and car from Amsterdam. Bruges is another fantastic destination and is often regarded as one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. Bruges is referred to as an open-air museum, and for an excellent reason. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, for it has managed to preserve its several hundred-year-old history. It is another city you can cycle through, so don't forget to hop on to the opportunity. Cycle through its market square, the best place to start your Bruges tour. Pedal by the city's rich canal network, which leads you to some pretty interesting sights, like the Nuit Blanche building. Other popular destinations you must visit include Basilica of the Holy Blood and Belfry of Bruges. After your time in Bruges, plan a day trip to Ipra, a fantastic town only an hour and a half away from Bruges. Being a World War site, Ipra is home to certain impressive and gloomy landmarks like battlefields and war cemeteries. If you want to lighten your mood, visiting the Menin Gate and Flanders Fields Museum will be an excellent idea. Number 3. Rome to Florence to Venice. The Rome-Florence-Venice combination is the most iconic combination of a Euro trip, allowing you to experience all Europe is famous for. It allows you the fantastic opportunity to explore world-famous art, ancient architectural marvels, and the unique vibe particular to them. Start your itinerary from Rome. It goes without saying that Rome is one place that makes you feel like you are living your destination and experience. And it has to be that way. Its popular landmarks, like the Colosseum, Pantheon, and Roman Forum, are thousands of years old and still in remarkable shape. Exploring them transports you to the days of Roman glory and gives you insight into what it was like to be one of the greatest human civilizations that ever lived. You might also want to plan a day trip to the Vatican City, a haven for art and architecture lovers, while you are here. Its Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Basilica, and Vatican museums are ideal spots to view some of the finest human-made creations. After spending 3 days in Rome, it is time that you head to Florence, the city of art. Florence is another European destination that does not need an introduction. The name of Florence immediately conjures images of rich museums and art galleries, like the Uffizi Gallery and the Accademia. Spend your days exploring these sites in detail and absorbing every bit of art that you can. Other very popular attractions here include the Cattedrale di Santa Maria del Fiore, another place that should definitely be on your list. Conclude your itinerary by heading to Venice, where you will be spending the last 2 days of your trip. While the time may seem too short, you can still make the most out of it by participating in meaningful and rewarding activities. Riding the canal is one of those activities. Venice cannot be separated from its canals, so you should feel the Venice experience by cruising in one. Also, do not forget to visit St. Mark's Basilica, Doge's Place, and St. Mark's Square, each of which boasts excellent architectural displays that will leave you awestruck. Number 4. Naples to Sorrento to Positano. If you are looking for a trip that opens you up to not only the world of wonders created by man, but also the works of nature, then this is the perfect itinerary for you. These cities are cradled in the heart of nature's pleasant side, so their ambiance is unbeatable. The experience of being in Naples is like no other experience you have ever lived. And to be honest, no other European destination prepares you even the slightest for the exuberance and vividness of this travel destination. Its people are loud, friendly, and boisterous, always up for activity and excitement. Be a part of the crowds and visit iconic sites like the catacombs of San Gerano and Castel Ovo. If you feel like watching authentic theater, head to Teatro di San Carlo, which is not only an impressive building, but also hosts excellent plays. 3 days exploring Naples should be followed by 2 days in Sorrento, another landmark European spot renowned for its charm, ambiance, and coast. Begin your tour of the city by visiting the Old Town, a charming delight, always full of hustling activity. The spot is as Italian as a place can get, for it has retained many Italian traditions. You should also consider spending some exciting time in Piazza Tasso, an area famous for never sleeping. Being the main hub of activity, it is renowned for its several cafes and restaurants, places you must stop and dine in. And of course, you cannot miss the Amalfi Coast. Soaking in the sun and lazing by the sea is an unmissable experience one could die for. The last 2 days of your itinerary are to be dedicated to the cliffside village of Positano, an excellent way of concluding your vacation. Walking through the town's famous streets is a rewarding experience, for the views are a fantastic spectacle to behold. The houses rise with the mountains and are colored in pastel colors, presenting an Instagram-perfect view. Visit Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii, which would provide breathtaking views, exciting adventure-based activities, and historical remains. Number 5. Paris to Bern to Bologna. If you feel that your perception of the continent and its countries is not as strongly positive as others, this is the trip you should embark upon. Paris, Bern, and Bologna complement each other greatly, with each city providing you with something that makes you fall deeper in love with Europe. Close your eyes and think of Paris. What images does your mind conjure? The Eiffel Tower, Louvre Museum, and the Notre Dame Cathedral? There is no surprise in this, for these are some of the most iconic destinations in town. They are popular, and are rightfully popular, for what they offer is unmatchable and cannot be competed with. The art collections featuring top artists, like Vincent van Gogh and Pablo Picasso, among others, and the monuments created by world-renowned architects make the city's collections unique. There is so much to see in this iconic city that you would need a good 3 days walking around and exploring to get some sense of this destination's magnificence and glory. The remaining 4 days of your trip will be divided equally between Bern and Bologna. Get onto a train or board a plane to get from Paris to Bern. As soon as you enter the city, you will be blown away by its sheer beauty. Built on a sandstone ridge and surrounded by the Ara, the setting cannot get more stunning than that. You would want to begin your trip from the Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site characterized by cobbled streets and arcade sidewalks. The area is populated by several shops, cafes, bookstores, and restaurants that ensure that you have a good time. In addition to this, you would want to visit the Museum of Art, an impressive museum that hosts more than 51,000 exquisite pieces of art. Some of the most famous artists feature here, like Ferdinand Hodler, so you would not want to miss it. You can also visit Einstein's residence and the Einstein Museum, places that will let you have an insight into the life of the physics genius. The key to the question of how to spend 1 week in Europe relies on spending your time as efficiently as possible. Therefore, it is advisable that you take a plane from Bern to Bologna, as you may be running out of time. Obviously, rushing through your in-city schedule is not a good idea. After all, this historic capital of the Emilia-Romagna region of North Italy has so much to offer that you need to have ample time to scratch the surface. Although there are several unmissable spots in town, make sure that you keep walking through Piazza Maggiore and explore medieval and Renaissance structures, like the City Hall, the Fountain of Neptune, and the Basilica di San Petronio on your list. There you have it, our top pick of the 5 best multi-city itineraries perfect for a 1-week trip to Europe. We hope you find our guide helpful, and if you are planning a trip inspired by our 1-week European itineraries, don't forget to check our recommended hotels and accommodations you can stay in while visiting these destinations in the video description below. Need help planning and finding the best 1-week vacation package to Europe? Visit us at MultiCityTrips.com today and see how our travel experts can help you design and personalize your European vacation.